Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today we are making a haunted castle mini album for Halloween. This is going to be a big one. You have a link to the measurements in the description under the video and also the template for all the pages. Also, wait until the end and I will show you how the complete mini album looks and how you can upgrade it in two different ways. So let's get started. So I have pre-cut all my pages, 2 of each, and then you will also need to cut about 7 strips that are scored at 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch and then folded along the short side. That means we are creating binding tabs to create our pages. So you have the spine and an attachment side for each of those tabs, as you can see. So I'm starting with the first page, and I folded my first strip, and then I'm going to apply glue to the inside of the strip on only one side of the tab. Then I'm going to attach it to the page, and since you have 2 of each of the pages, we are going to sandwich those binding tabs in between the pages, and also these pages are going to be sturdy enough to hold everything we're going to add. And then after I've attached the binding tab or strip, then I can go ahead and attach the second part of my page. Again, I have 2 of each. What you do, by the way, is you download your template and then trace it on black cardstock and cut your pages. That is pretty easy. So this is my first page, and you see that I cut the edge of the binding strip according to the shape of the page. Now I'm going to bring my second page and attach it to the other side of the binding strip. Now the idea is to create an accordion mini album, so you need to attach strips, binding strips, to both sides of each page, except of course the first and the last page. So now I'm attaching the second one, and before I sandwich it with the second part of my page, I need to attach the strip to the other side of my page because we need to make an accordion. I'm sure it's going to make sense in just a minute. Okay, so now I have 2 pages connected. I'm going to cut. The strips are obviously much longer than the page itself, so you need to cut them along the edges of the page down along the score line until it meets the other page. So this way they will be hidden, and you see, you can't see them. So now we need to attach the second or the other binding strip to the other side of my page. So we'll be able to attach another page and another page. This is how it works. So this is the first page and this is the second page. You see that I got confused and I put glue on the second page there, the one that I need to attach to the first one to make my double page, but then I remembered that I need to attach the binding strip first. And don't worry if you get the direction of the folds on the strip wrong, because you can always reverse the fold direction, so that's okay. So I'm attaching the strip to the other edge of my page, and when you attach those strips, always remember not to glue on the score line, because the score lines, they attach or they create the gusset or the spine that you need for making the album a little bit thicker for later attaching cover papers and things. So now I've sandwiched my strip with the second page, and I can go ahead and attach the third page, and this will go on and on until we add all the pages. Now, if you want to make this book bigger, of course, you can make more pages. It's up to you how many pages you make. You have the template. So now I made 2 smaller pages. I like to play with different size of pages, and then I'm going to decide which one goes where. So now let's attach the strip to the 3rd page. And remember, each page has 2 layers, one on top of the other, to make them stronger and to sandwich the binding strips. Okay, so I'm just making sure I like the direction of the page. I want it to go this way when it opens up. And now that it doesn't matter that I put more glue, everything dries up later and clear, and then I cut the excess off. And then before we add the 2nd layer of the page, we need to add the binding strip on the other side. Don't forget that. Just making sure that mine is long enough, because I'm using, you see, I'm using the excess that I cut from the 1st page, which was much smaller. This way you can utilize all your supplies. So we attach this binding strip on the other side of the page, and now we can bring the 2nd layer and sandwich them. Hope that makes sense. This is going to be a really epic mini album. I always use liquid glue for these things. I never use double-sided tape or something like that, because you need to make sure that everything is really glued properly. You need the option to move the pages and the binding strips into position, which you can't do with a dry glue, because it dries from the moment you put it on the page. When you use wet glue, you can still wiggle the papers. Now I'm cutting the excess of the strip along the edges of the page. Okay, so now my 3rd page is connected. You see, this is how it works. We keep adding pages when binding strips. So this is a smaller page, but that's fine. So I'm attaching the 1st layer. Remember, each page has 2 layers. Make it more sturdy and sandwich the binding strips with strong connection. Now you need to attach the binding on the other side and then sandwich them with the other layer of the page. So I put the wrong side, which is fine. I'll have more glue to cut off later. So now I want to bring the other layer, attach the page. So by now I think you can get how this mini album works. I hope that it makes sense how we build it. So I just want to say that, again, you can add pages if you want, as many pages as you want. Actually, it depends on how many photos you want to add. Let's cut off the excess of the strip. Again, I'm cutting it along the edges of the page. And now it doesn't show. And again, you can always reverse the folds if they're not in the direction that you need them to be. It's fine. Let's attach another page. And you always apply the glue up until the score line. The score line has to be unglued to anything because that is the spine that allows you to later add more stuff on your pages. That gives you the room that you need. Okay. Now comes two very unique pages. These pages are actually pocket pages, and the way that you make them is I simply cut out a fence, and again you need two of each, so I put two pages one on top of the other, and then I cut out a fence. If you have a die, you can use a die. You can skip these pages completely if you don't want to make them. I can put a template. I will put a template for the fence on the instructions that you can download. And what you do, like always, you attach the binding strip. You complete the previous page with the second layer. And then the fence is going to be a pocket. That means it's going to be attached to the album. And we're going to insert things into it. Photos, tags, journaling, cards, whatever you want. Okay. So now I'm attaching the fence to the binding strip. On one side. And then I will need to add a binding strip on the other side so I can add the second page. Right? This is how it's going to go. Just making sure that's in the right direction. Then I have another binding strip to attach to the other side. I'm just cutting a little bit off the sides of the binding strip so it will be thin enough so it won't show, because I need to attach it to the fence and don't want it to stick out. Want to make sure that my direction is okay. Let's put it on this side instead, making sure that my fold is in the right direction. Okay, so now we attach the strip to the other side of the fence. And now we can add the second layer of the fence, but we do not attach it completely. We want to create a pocket. So what we're going to do is only apply glue. Let's first get rid of the excess. We're going to apply glue on the sides and the bottom of the fence only. So the top will be open for us to insert things. So I'm applying glue to the side, the bottom, and the other side. And then attaching the second fence on top of the first one, and now I have my fence pocket page ready. So now we have our fence ready. The second page is also going to be a really unique pocket page. It's going to be a graveyard pocket page. So you see, this is how we're going to insert our tags and photos and things inside our fence. Has to be dry first, of course. So this is a really unique page. Next, you have all those parts on your template, again, that you can download. And then I cut a few of each. Then I'm just going to add them to our strips and again create a pocket page. So they don't need to be identical. Each side can be different. Just adding a few of the tombstones. So the large one is going to go in the middle. They're going to go on the strip like this. It can be a little bit upside down, not straight, I mean, not upside down, a little skewed like this. So this is one side of the pocket page. Just thinking maybe I'll add one more thing. Okay, so this is one side, and then I can go ahead and make the other side. So we need to attach the tombstones on the other side. So I'm attaching them on the back. I want to see how they look when they are aligned together like they would when I attach the page. So I only apply glue on the bottom of each of the tombstone. Cross is going to be on this side. Maybe I'll add one on top here. Like this. Okay. So now we can go ahead and attach them to the fence page. Remember, we still have that binding strip there. So I want the left edge to be straight. That's why I cut that little piece. So the attachment will be strong enough on all the surface on the left edge. And remember that we still need to attach a binding strip on the other side here, so we can attach the next page. So I'm applying glue to the edge here, figuring out which way I need to have my fold, but it's not really important because, like I said, you can always reverse the fold later. And it needs to be straight. It needs to be in 90 degrees. So if that cross is in the way, we're going to cut that later. So we're only going to have a binding strip that is the width of that black strip on the bottom. We don't need all this height. So I'm cutting along the score line like this. Now I can go ahead and sandwich. See, I'm reversing the fold. So now I can sandwich my other side. And again, this is a pocket page, so I only apply glue on the sides and the bottom. And remember, they're not identical. Each side looks different. Don't worry if there's a little bit of glue, it will dry clear. I just want to cut the excess from the binding strip so it will look nice. We have one side of the tombstone and the other side of the fence. So you need to cut in between them. This is how it looks. See? I want to cut all the way down up until that strip, the black strip. And this way it will really look nicely connected. Okay, so now we can go ahead and attach our next page. And this goes on, and you can make, like I said, as many pages as you want. We have one more page, actually two more pages. So apply glue to the binding strip, attach one page. Remember, there are two of each. And then a binding strip on the other side, because we need to attach our final page. Just making sure everything is straight. And then I can go ahead and cut out the excess of the binding strip all the way down along the edges of that tombstone. Okay. Just making sure it all connects in the same direction that it should. I need another binding strip, so I'm just folding it. I made them 12 inches long, but you can see you definitely don't need this length, but it's good to have the length and then cut it if you need, instead of having it too short. Okay, so that's the other side of our page. Attaching up until the score line. And now we can sandwich the binding strips with the second layer. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting a tiny little bit of the binding strip to reinforce the attachment on the bottom here, because we only have that little strip and I'm worried it's not going to be enough, so I just made a second layer of the binding strip. We're later going to cover it, so don't worry about, you can cover it with any embellishment that you want, so don't worry about this piece sticking on the outside. Okay, so let's attach the page, the second layer of the page. We're almost done with building the mini album, and later comes the fun part of embellishing everything, adding cover papers, inserts, embellishments, photos, tags, whatever you want to add. Let's cut the excess. And then this is our final page. We don't need a strip on the other side because this is the last one. So now we have a complete accordion, more or less. Just aligning everything, making sure everything is straight along the score line. And then I can go ahead and attach the second layer of the last page. So what I want to say before we see how it looks, the final album, is that you can embellish it any way you want. Use the template to cut the cover papers, and then you can create any pockets, any insert, any embellishments that you want for your mini album. Let's cut the excess. Okay, so now our mini album is complete. This is going to be really fun decorating. And let's see how the mini album looks when it is finished. So basically, if you want to create the finished mini album, you can do this in two ways. Way number one is to go ahead to the description under the video and click on the link to the full class. There is going to be a full class going through step by step of embellishing this entire mini album with everything that you're going to see in a second. All the cover papers, tags, techniques, everything. So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and click the link to get the class. The second way is you can make only the tags. You can embellish the pages on your own and just learn how to create the tags. If you want to learn how to create the tags, 10 designs of the tags, you go ahead and click on the join button to become a member of this channel. So if you become a member of this channel, you get access to the tag instructions and video tutorial. And this way you also support me in making free videos and keep this channel going. So these are the two ways. You can either get the class for the full embellishments, tags, and everything on this mini album, or you can only learn how to make the tags, the different style of tags by becoming a member of this channel. So this is up to you. Or you can just get the free template and just create your own embellishments, tags, and so on this mini album. But this is how this mini album looks when it's finished. I think it came out really, really cute, spooky, and really fun. So we have a tag here in between the branches with the witch flying on the top. And then let's see our fence pocket page and our graveyard pocket page. That came out really cool with the tree and everything. The skeletons, the ghosts, the bats. We have a really cute tags. We have a tombstone tag. Let's insert that later. And then we have a coffin tag. We have the graveyard keeper here. The coffin tag. We have all the tombstones. I have this guy here with this tag. So you have different styles of tags. Again, you can learn how to make them if you become a channel member. It's really confusing. Okay, so now the other side. You learn how to make transparency tags. Are really fun. And pockets as well. With this flap here, the tombstone flap, and there's another pocket here. Then there is this flap here with the clock, the double clock counting down, another pocket, transparency pocket, and this is our graveyard and garden from the other side. Then you have your bat, And again, you can learn all this in the class or just the tags if you become a channel member. So that's up to you. So I really hope you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. So this is the final page of the mini album with our flap castle and our triple tag. It's a tag within a tag within a tag. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you'll have a really great time decorating your mini album, Haunted Castle mini album. And I will see you next time.